No one saw it coming. The performance had just ended, the stadium was still echoing with cheers, and millions of people around the world were still talking about how incredible Lisa looked on that stage. It was supposed to be a perfect night, a historic moment where she proved once again why she stands at the very top of the global music scene. But just moments after she stepped off that stage, something unexpected happened, something that instantly turned celebration into concern. The night had started with overwhelming energy. The lights, the crowd, the atmosphere, everything was massive. As soon as the music for Goals began, Lisa appeared with full confidence, walking onto the stage like she owned it. Every movement was sharp, every expression powerful, and every second of her performance felt unforgettable. She wasn't just performing, she was commanding the entire stadium. Fans screamed her name. Cameras followed her every step. Everyone noticed at first. Her breathing seemed slightly heavier than usual. Her movements, although still precise, carried a hint of strain. There were tiny moments, almost invisible, where she seemed to pause just a fraction longer than expected. To most people watching, it didn't mean anything. But to those who paid close attention, no matter what. As the performance reached its peak, the energy only grew stronger. Fireworks exploded in the background, lights flashed across the stadium, and the crowd roared louder than ever before. It was the kind of moment artists dream of their entire lives. When the final chorus hit, Lisa gave it everything she had left. Her last moves were powerful, her expression intense, and her presence unforgettable. Then the music stopped. The performance ended. The crowd erupted in applause. It was perfect, at least that's what everyone thought. As she walked off the stage, the cameras shifted away and the spotlight moved on. From the audience's perspective, everything had gone exactly as planned. But backstage, the situation quickly changed. Just seconds after stepping out of view, Lisa suddenly lost her balance. At first, it looked like a small stumble, something that could happen to anyone after such an intense performance. But then, without warning, she collapsed. The atmosphere backstage instantly turned into panic. Staff members rushed toward her. Dancers froze in shock, and voices began overlapping as people tried to understand what was happening. Someone called for medical assistance, while others tried to help her regain consciousness. It all happened so fast, yet in that moment, time felt like it slowed down. Lisa wasn't responding at first. The energy and strength she had shown on stage just moments earlier seemed to disappear completely. The same person who had just commanded a global audience was now lying still, surrounded by worried staff. The contrast was shocking. Within seconds, the area was secured. People were asked to step back, and the situation became more controlled, but the tension remained. Staff members called her name, trying to bring her back. There was fear, real fear, in that moment. Not because of the performance, but because no one knew exactly what had caused this. Then, slowly, there was movement, a small sign that she was regaining consciousness. Everyone around her. Lisa opened her eyes, but she looked exhausted, completely drained. The energy she had poured into that performance had clearly taken a toll on her body. Medical staff quickly stepped in, checking her condition and making sure she was stable. She was given water, supported carefully, and moved to a more private area where she could recover. Even though she was conscious again, it was clear that she needed immediate rest. As the situation stabilized backstage, the outside world began to catch on. Fans near the stage noticed unusual movement, and rumors started spreading almost instantly. Social media lit up with questions. People were asking if something had happened, if Lisa was okay, if the performance had gone wrong in some way. Clips from the performance were replayed over and over again. Fans started pointing out the small details, the heavy breathing, the brief pauses, the slight changes in her energy. Things that seemed insignificant before suddenly felt important. Everyone was trying to understand what had led to that moment. Soon, reports began to emerge suggesting that Lisa had been pushing herself extremely hard leading up to the performance. Long rehearsals, tight schedules, constant travel, and the pressure of delivering a perfect performance on a global stage, it all added up. And that night, her body simply reached its limit. It was a reminder that even the strongest performers have limits. On stage, idols often look unstoppable. They smile, they perform flawlessly, and they make everything seem effortless. But behind that image is a reality that fans don't always see: exhaustion, pressure, and the constant demand to be perfect. Lisa didn't stop because she wanted to give the audience everything. She didn't show weakness because she knew how important that moment was. Millions were watching, and she carried that responsibility on her shoulders. But in doing so, she pushed herself beyond what her body could handle. Thankfully, later updates confirmed that her condition was stable. The cause was identified as extreme exhaustion and dehydration, something serious, but not life-threatening if treated properly. She was advised to rest, recover, and take time before returning to any intense activities. Fans around the world responded with overwhelming support. Messages flooded social media, not just praising her performance, but expressing concern for her well-being. People weren't just talking about how amazing she was on stage. They were hoping she would take care of herself, slow down, and prioritize her health. That night became more than just a performance. It became a moment that revealed the reality behind the spotlight. A reminder that even global superstars are human. They get tired, they get overwhelmed, and sometimes they push themselves too far. Lisa gave everything she had on that stage. Every ounce of energy, every bit of strength, every moment of focus. And while the world saw a flawless performance, the truth behind it was far more intense than anyone realized. In the end, the performance will always be remembered as iconic. But what happened after will be remembered as something even more important, a moment that showed the cost of perfection and the strength it takes to keep going even when your body is telling you to stop. Now, the only question that remains is this: how far is too far when it comes to chasing perfection? And will moments like this finally change how idols are pushed behind the scenes? Because one thing is certain, that night, Lisa didn't just perform. She gave everything she had, and maybe just a little more than she should have.